From Pacific Rim to Godzilla and now Kong, NECA has had a rich history of delving into kaiju properties that we love. But with the recent loss of the Godzilla license, we've been clamoring for more kaiju blood in the NECA waters. Here's a top 5 of kaiju properties NECA should do. What up, my zillions? Welcome to the highly anticipated sequel video to the top 5 kaiju NECA should do right now. Of course, that video was not on my channel, the original video. But you can check it out here at Steven's Toy Reviews right after this video. Just keep that link on the side. We're doing a sequel, and as you know, lots of movies have a different director for their sequel. So I'm doing a sequel to his video because it was something I've been thinking about anyway, and I kind of wanted to just like chime in with some other properties and that NECA, who's done such a fine job for us as a community in the kaiju world here between Pacific Rim, Godzilla, and now Kong. We want to see more, right? We want to see more. So, without any further ado, number 1 is, well, number 5, right? 5, are we counting down? I don't even know. Monster Hunter. Now, Monster Hunter the movie. I wanna strictly put that on there because I have a feeling that license is very different than the license for the video game. And these things usually are. Let me tell you a little bit something about licensing. These things have separate licenses. If you look at the Godzilla license, it was a separate license for the King of the Monsters stuff than the regular stuff, and that's why NECA was able to do Mothra and Rodan. Monster Hunter is going to be no different. You got a plethora of monsters, I'm sure, in the movie that you're going to be able to do, and you're going to have an awesome NECA spin on it if they can do it. Now, I've heard a lot of rumblings. I've posted this before on NECA forums, and everybody's all like, "No, that's not gonna happen. Capcom is impossible to work with." What are you guys talking about? Do you realize how many properties Capcom spreads around to other toy companies? Look at Storm Collectibles. Look at Bandai. There are so many Capcom characters out there. If there's any problems, and I know NECA, said it has some problems with like Resident Evil, but guys, you do not know the business of any of this, alright? So you don't know what is going on behind the scenes, and let's just leave it as that. I do not think Capcom is difficult to work with, and I'm going on the amount of Capcom toys there are out there. Monster Hunter would be a perfect toy line, based on the movie. Let's give it that. That NECA could do. I think it would be awesome. You get some Rathaloses in there and whatever else they might do, and that would be awesome. Plus, SH Monster Arts doing their own Monster Hunter line based on the game. We like to compete, right? So there you go, Monster Hunter. Next up, now is this a cop-out? I don't know. I don't think it is. Ultimate Pacific Rim. Okay, so here's my pitch, right? You did awesome on Pacific Rim, the first movie. You did not get the license for Uprising. You owe us some figures, guys. So, I think the license is free and clear at this point, right? Might be. Why not invest and do an Ultimate Pacific Rim line? Do the best versions you can of the Jaegers. Do the Jaegers you didn't do from the second movie, the Kaiju you didn't get to do from the second movie, the Kaiju you didn't get to do from the first movie. I think an Ultimate Pacific Rim line would go over like gangbusters. Charge a little more for them. You're charging more for stuff now as it is, so why not? I know a lot of huge Pacific Rim fans, and we would love to see an Ultimate Pacific Rim line. There is no doubt about it. That would be amazing for you guys to do. I think you did a fine job the first time, but there were some things you could have did better, and in an Ultimate line, you could do it even better. Start from scratch though. Do not give us retreads of what you did. Start from scratch on a lot of these sculpts, and I think you're gonna have a line that you're gonna love and we're gonna love. Number 3, and number 2 is gonna be kind of in the same ballpark, and I'll explain why. Number 3 is a shared universe of figures, you know, called American Monsters. Hear me out now. And this is something Steven touched upon with a couple of his picks. You know, he picked Clover from Cloverfield. He picked the Beast from Bazillion Phantoms. I can't remember. 1,000 Phantoms, 10,000 Phantoms, 1,000,000 Phantoms. There are so many awesome American monsters out there, including Kong. And Kong here would be a perfect subject for, as a jumping off point, to do a lot of those other figures. Now, Steven also mentioned the T-Rex. T-Rex is really cool, but I feel like in the end it would come off as just another dinosaur. But if you gave Kong a whole line of other figures in his scale that are kaiju from other movies, I think you would have a lot of variety there. The giant claw, if you want to go classic, you know, again, Clover and some of the other beasts from monsters. You know, there's a lot of movies that have come out. The one with Anne Hathaway, which escapes me. I'm sure I'll have an image up. Love and Monsters is another recent movie. There's a lot of movies you can choose from to make a line of American monsters that I think would go over pretty well with Kong at the forefront of that line. Now, I mean, you can make it a Kong line too if you want to, but because I feel like they'd rather not do the license, because this is kind of an unlicensed thing, this Kong figure. I feel like if you could get licenses for a lot of other, you know, probably cheaper monsters, you'd fill out a nice line of American monsters a lot better. Going with the fact that Kong is an unlicensed monster, and number 2, this is kind of a variant of that. Why have we not, and this across the board, and NECA's a company with a large enough fan base to support this, why have we not seen an original NECA line of figures for anything? A NECA Monsters line is my next pick. Totally original, totally made up and sculpted by them, with a story that they could formulate. Hey, I'm available. Story guy right here, available. Would, I think, go over really well at this point. You know, with Kong, because he's unlicensed, just like the American Monsters line that I spoke of, this could be the jumping off point. It could be the jumping off point to the American Monsters line or a NECA Monsters line. Whichever way you go, I think you're gonna have really cool results. You know, they have a lot of really great sculptors at their, you know, in the palm of their hands there that they could, like, let loose. I'm sure these guys are gonna have a ton of fun creating their own monster line to go along with Kong. I think that would be amazing, guys. NECA Monsters I think would be like something that we haven't seen before, where you could really get some cool artistic interpretations of, you know, anything. You know, like you could make a Godzilla-like monster, Pacific Rim type monsters, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would go over really well, in my opinion. Something that maybe even more so than the American Monsters. And guess what? They don't have to pay for any licenses then. It's just mind-boggling to me that it hasn't happened at all. So NECA, there you go. Go do it. There you have it. There's one that's an easy one for you to do. And, you know, if you want to take my idea, cool. And last but not least, the one that I want the most, honestly, and it's something that, like, I've mentioned on my Facebook page, I've posted to NECA, I've done a poll about GAMERA. I know, you know, like, they like to stick to North American stuff, but, you know, Godzilla wasn't North American, honestly. And even though basically they kicked it off with the 2014, right? Around that area. I don't think they did, but you know, it was around that time. That's where the licenses probably came from. But GAMERA, to me, if you're gonna lose a Godzilla license, is the perfect license to take its place. You know, unfortunately, GAMERA's always played second fiddle to Godzilla in Japan, and that sounds like the same thing here. But GAMERA has a huge fan base, and I think the fan base would love to have figures sculpted by NECA to represent their favorite turtle monster and all his kaiju, because you know what, NECA, Katakawa probably isn't going to charge you a ton for that license. And GAMERA has a huge fan base. It's been on MST3K. You know, that's all you really need to say. You know, so people know GAMERA. People would buy GAMERA. And I know a lot of folks are like, well, there's no GAMERA movie attached. But how do you, like, if you're Katakawa, like, I think you'd want to push for more of a license out there. Because I think that's how you build, you know, interest in a property again. So my number one pick is GAMERA. I love GAMERA. I want to see Gauss. I want to see, you know, from Legion and Iris and Jiger and Virus and Barugon. Giron with his knife head. Imagine all these characters done by NECA. That would be awesome. Give them their own take. I don't care how they want to do it. You want to do Showa, you want to do modern, GAMERA the Brave, you know, like, however you want to go, do it, you know. I think it would be awesome. Zigra, I forgot about Zigra. Yeah, GAMERA is my number one pick because you can't replace Godzilla better than you can with GAMERA. And that's it, my zillions. I hope you dug this. I had a good time doing it. You know, if you guys have any other suggestions, leave them down below. There was a lot of things going through my mind, but you know, like a separate Kong line, when, you know, they could do the 76, or Escape and King Kong Escapes. No, they can't do King Kong Escapes, but King Kong Lives, you know, like stuff like that. There's various things you could do. You could do, like, I'm sure there's like ways around the Godzilla license where they could do like the cartoon Godzilla, stuff like that. I believe there is, honestly. But these were the ones I wanted to focus on. Heck, one of the things I thought about was Pokemon, honestly, but I think that license would be tough to get. But imagine NECA doing their own Pokemon takes, like realistic takes on that. Somebody had mentioned that on one of my YouTube videos, so I figured I'd mention it here. But these were my 5 picks. I think they go over really well. Monster Hunter is an easy one. The movie is coming out. There's gonna be interest in those monsters. You know, their own line of original figures would be amazing. Why they haven't done it, I don't know. Or an American Monsters conglomeration of different monsters. You know, all of those things are stuff that I think would go over really, really well. GAMERA, of course, is incredible, and revisit Pacific Rim. Why not? Why not? It's not doing anything right now. It's got a huge fan base. Put the ultimate tag on it, you're good to go. So there you go, guys. I hope you dug this. All right, that's all I got. You let me know your thoughts below. And please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Stay safe. Till next time. Peace out, peeps.